Welcome back in. It's a post-game show. Final score, Oskaloosa boys defeat Norwalk 73-58 in the margin. Probably could have been more than that. Coach Ryan Parker of the Indians, we talked yesterday, 24 hours ago, talking about what needed to happen for this team. And first of all, what was the message between Tuesday's 31-point loss on the road to Newton?
You got to keep bringing that up.
I mean, we're going to look back at that. If this kind of play continues, how important was that game itself? Even though it was ugly, how much did it help you guys?
Well, I told you last night, and we talked about just off air, we need to take one on the chin. You know, getting beat close games, yeah, maybe you learned something from them. But we played a lot of close games, and then we took one on the chin at Newton on Tuesday by an undisclosed amount of points. And, you know, we loosened things up a little bit. On Wednesday, we played dodgeball. We watched film for about 45 minutes and played dodgeball versus the wrestling team, which the basketball team came out victorious, by the way.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah, big time, right? So then yesterday, we really made an effort on Norwalk and what they do and what Vasky does and how Bourne hurts you going to the left. Our guys played some defense tonight. Yeah, we both had some offense going in the first quarter, but that second quarter, we really locked them down. And I heard you talking as you're going off air the last time is, you know, it probably should have been more than 15. Sure, a win's a win, right? I mean, you could have probably pushed that to 30. We were up 25 at one point. We subbed everybody in, got some guys some good run late and turned the ball over a couple times. But, you know, all in all, we're pleased. We got a big game tomorrow versus Albia. But again, you take one on the chin, and this is how you come back from it. You know, I don't want to take very many on the chin, but if that's the way you're going to respond in the mid-season and the lulls of February, that's what we need to do.
Well, especially considering the fact that on Wednesday, and it was a big theme in our interview yesterday on the Hy-Vee homestretch, you want to look as good as you can going into Wednesday's seeding meeting because you want to get into a good spot to be able to play at home, to be able to try to position yourself best to try to make a run to the state tournament. So with that being said, you get a huge win here. It's going to look really good on the resume against a team that had beaten you before and a team who's
high in BC Moore.
Yeah, no, this is a really good basketball team. You came in, BC Moore had you as a 2.5-point favorite, and you beat them by 15. This is going to go down as probably your best game of the season. When you look at that, though, and you think about this, you have tomorrow you're going to be a favorite against Albia here on your home gym.
Which I worry because we always take games like that for granted. But
sometimes you overlook it, especially when you have a team like Pella on Tuesday, a chance to have a resume builder. Again, not only if you win, but if you play well like you did tonight, people are going to look at your team and say, okay, Oski's back. This is the real deal. How important was it to just play a full 32 minutes of good basketball tonight?
I mean, I didn't know how they were going to respond. We talked about last night. We talked, you know, what team's going to show up tonight? Are we going to be, you know, the team that puts the pedal down from the get-go, or the team that sort of lets us sits back and lets Norwalk dictate what they do and what we do? And you saw our transition game is probably the best it's been all year. And maybe, like, you know, against some of those teams that are not so good, it was maybe better. But that's a quality team, and our transition game was really, really good tonight. Resume builders, you know, tomorrow's a resume builder for the simple fact of teams play them. Sheraton, same conference. Knoxville, same conference. You know, Tuesday is a big game for the rivalry side of things. You know, that'll be a packed house, and we got to win tomorrow. We went into this weekend thinking after Tuesday's drubbing of undisclosed amount, if we can get 2 out of 3, we'll be sitting pretty good. And, you know, I think that's still the goal. You know, and 3-3 is not you know, out of the picture at all either.
Right, and that's what we're talking about here. A winning record for Oskaloosa boys basketball is a huge morale builder for this program, especially considering the fact that 7 of your top 8 guys in the rotation are going to be back next year. So with all of that being said, these are still kids.
Hey, step back a second. Think about 1 year ago today and where we were at, okay? And this is we talked about last night on Hy-Vee homestretch of this is a process. Well, look at the strides we made from last year at this exact time to now. And I think it's night and day, to my opinion. Taking care of the ball, what you have is for turnovers.
7.
7, okay?
Oh, my bad, 9.
9, either way. Those are great. It's a great number. Anything under 10 is great. But that's what we have to do, and you have to keep progressing. Maybe next year at this time, look how much farther we can get. You know, I don't think it's going to be this drastic, but think how much better we're going to be. And, again, it's a process. Year 1, 6 wins. Year 2, 6 wins. Right now we're sitting at 9. Okay, who knows what we're going to end up. But 1 year to the next, That's the way you got to look at things. You can't look at maybe, oh, you got your rear end kicked on Tuesday, and now where you at.
Fair enough. Now, I was saying 7 or 8 guys would be, coming back to the program next year, but the one that's not, Jack Moore had a great night. And it seems like when he has good nights, your team is looking as good as it gets. He was the guy that was finishing a lot of those transition breaks. He's a guy that has really improved his passing ability.
Yes.
And if we had a conversation at the end of last season, kind of wrapping up the year, and we were kind of always waiting for him to kind of regain his form from his sophomore year when he was the guy here for Oskaloosa. It looks like he has definitely taken those next steps here, even though we know he's playing basketball or football at the next level. But it looks like tonight he relished his role as the team's senior leader. What did you see from him?
Man, Jack's been, like, again, last year at this time to now, look at the difference he's been. And last year he wasn't healthy at one bit in that season.
Right.
We just sort of hobbled him through it. We talked to Ryan Yates a couple weeks ago and says, we're not to this point yet, but we need you to be Jack Moore next year. And that's unfair, okay? But that's the role you're going to have to take. And that's going to be really hard the way Jack played tonight and the way he's played all season. He's attacked the rim, the number of free throws he shoots on the year. You get on his case. I know I listened to some of your playbacks. I listened to some of the things. Oh, he doesn't shoot the three. He doesn't need to. I mean, maybe he could shoot a couple more wide open ones, but he didn't have to tonight. So he was really good tonight, really, really good.
You talk about him, he's got 20 points. He had 3 other guys in double figures, including Xavier Foster off the bench, who defensively, of course, was affecting the game. But Cole Henry got off to a great start finish with 17. Jared Cruz, who could end up being your leading scorer on the season, had 11 as the 4th guy in double figures. We talk about this team's depth and its team's balance. When you have balance, how much more confidence does that make you when you got 4 guys in double figures?
Well, you can allow to get in foul trouble. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen from game to game. Who has a 6'10" kid that has 3 Division I offers as their 7th man? All right, look at the luxury we have. Cole was really good tonight. Jared didn't make mistakes, did what he had to do. Let somebody if somebody's having a night, Jared's the guy that says, I know I'm pretty good, but I don't have to take over. I don't have to go take that ball from him if that guy's having a night. And I honestly don't know what it shows up in the stat sheet, but I thought Spencer Tucker played one of his better games of the year. Yeah, we got in him at halftime at Newton, and he responded unbelievable tonight because he took the challenge we put forth at Newton.
He was absolutely making plays tonight. He finished with 4 assists by my count, hit a big buzzer-beating 3 to end the half to really put your team in the driver's seat with all the momentum. But, Coach, this is a huge win. Obviously, everybody needs to come out tomorrow because this team is going to be back in action as well as the girls. And that doubleheader is huge. You mentioned it for a lot of different reasons, especially for the boys team.
I'm sure you'll be here, right, Emery?
I actually will not. I have sectional wrestling that I'll be in Sigourney for. But you don't need me to win, Coach Parker. They need you to win.
All right.
You're the hero that Oskaloosa deserves.
You're a hero.
Coach, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
We will be chatting with you again next week.
All right, thanks, buddy.
That is Ryan Parker. We'll take a quick break, be back, wrap it up right here on the No Coast Network.